Hello everyone. So on the official ticket, it said that I was going to talk about Bonnie McFarlane from Red Dead Redemption. And I tried writing that and it turned into a 20-minute marriage proposal. Because she's just the best. And I want to marry her on the prairie under the stars and chase away dogs and criminals. But I didn't do that. I couldn't get anything else aside from a 20-minute marriage proposal. So instead I have this, which is a harrowing insight into the MRA mindset through the lens of Ganguro Girl. Has anyone here played Ganguro Girl? Good. You got 100 days to get the Ganguro Girl. Objectives: train yourself, boost up your skills, work and earn money, date her, buy her gifts, have sex with her. I am playing Ganguro Girl, a free hentai dating sim. I'll bring him back, it's fine. It's been over 10 years since the last time I played it. I'm a different man now. It is a game, ostensibly, about seducing a woman. That's simple enough. It's a particular kind of woman too, a Ganguro Girl, a member of a Japanese subculture that engages in absurd makeup, ultra-bright clothing, and levels of fake tan that can only really be described as inadvisable. Here is a Ganguro Girl. Anyway. You have the mad hots for Ganguro girls. Time to get it on. You are a chap in sunglasses. And that, aside from the raging boner you have for women done up like fake tan circus clowns, is pretty much the entirety of your character. You have 3 stats: charm, strength, and intelligence, which largely affect how much money you earn from one of 3 jobs, namely telemarketing, tech support, or thinly veiled mafia enforcement. You spend money on dates and presents for the girls, you see, so money is important. You can level up your stats too. Charm, the one I focused on, runs off drinking beer, so every beer you drink permanently increases your charm score. Just like real life. This led to a loop where I would peel myself out of bed, go for a couple of breakfast beers, spend several hours lying to people over the phone, then hit the club to try and score. There is one girl available in the free version of the game, so you talk to her day in and day out, in the same club at the same time, hungover from the morning's drinking. Her name is Sari. There's Sari, she doesn't like me at this point. The first few times you meet her, she refuses to give you the time of day. That's fine, that's fair. I don't much fancy myself either here, as I'm an unshaven telesales drunkard. To lure her in, you simply have to meet her a bunch of times. You have to bother her. Bother her until she gives in. It takes about 5 or 6 repeated attempts, ignoring her indifference, and indeed, even the way she tells you to get lost, to get her to talk to you. And even then, talk is a generous phrase for what she does. She simply states facts about herself. You barely say anything. You are nothing. You have no past, no present, no future goals aside from the way that you want to get off with this girl so hard you're willing to run your life into the ground to do so. You are a ghost, an empty thing, rendered down to a cross between a penis and a fly trying to escape through a closed window, just buzzing, bumping over and over. I remembered from my previous playthrough back in 2003 that you have to remember these facts, so I started to write them down in Sharpie on a stack of napkins left on the table from last night's takeaway burger. Here are some facts about Sari. Her favourite shop is Tokyo, and her favourite band of clothing is Egoist. She is a Gemini, and has blood type AB. She has a 54cm waist, she told me. Her favourite band is Pizzicato 5, and I'm a married man. And I know these things now, about a woman that does not exist, and as we can see, is not even especially well drawn. However, you must charm her further still, perish the thought, so you bring her gifts. Gifts range from a DVD to a handbag to a pair of knee-high platform boots, and nothing in between. These are your options in total, these 3. I've gone word blind. There we are. After chatting to her for a while, I dropped a handbag in her lap and she agreed to a date. Hot damn. I take her out to a cigar bar. The other options available are the park and a trip on a bullet train. And I don't know about you, but I'm a sophisticated man, and I like it when a woman smells like a carpet fire. So the way forward was clear. Saori joins me, done up all fancy in a white dress, and she looks embarrassed, angry, upset, some kind of generic anime negative emotion. Anyway, I try talking to her. I try taking a picture with her. She asked to do something else the whole time, and I'm like, why'd you come out, Saori, if you hate cigars and me so much? I stumble out of the date and into bed and sleep, then 2 breakfast beers, work, club. Gotta keep trying. I throw handbags at her, throw shoes at her. I write down her goddamn hip measurements in case they come up later. She agrees to another date, finally, a week later. This is getting pretty creepy. Like, don't I have anything better to do? Doesn't she have anything better to do? Shouldn't we have hit it off already? Rather than me slamming myself against her like she's a game of fucking Breakout. We go to the park this time. She wears a t-shirt. She looks happier. We talk, and what this means is she asks a series of questions about herself that I must answer correctly to raise her mood level, which is weird. Still, this isn't about healthy relationships, is it? This is an exercise in fetishization, about a man being attracted to a subculture, to an aesthetic, and about the woman who he chooses as an avatar of that group. It doesn't have to be Saori. It just has to be someone who wears fake tan and eventually agrees to go out with him. Anyway, I answer her questions correctly. I throw another pair of shoes at her for good measure. I take a picture, and then we kiss. Level up, the screen says. We are boyfriend and girlfriend now. Saori seems down for a serious thing, and that's cool. I am too. Lies! Filthy lies! I'm not down for a serious thing. I'm only interested in having sex with her. She's the only source of sex available. She's the only woman, the only character in this entire game. As we will see in this next slide. There are the women you can talk to. It costs HP to talk to women. It costs HP to work. It costs HP to go drinking beer. Everything costs HP as you go tireder and tireder and tireder until you go into the club and it's like, you don't have enough HP to do that. So you go home and you lie in bed and you wake up the next morning. Anyway. And her being the only other character in the game, that could be a comment on how it feels to be in love with someone. I mean, is it a comment about how to care about someone? Sorry, I'll start again. And could that be a comment on how it feels to be in love with someone? To care about them so much they just supersede all other elements in your life? And that there might as well be no other women, no other people in the world? Yes. Is it? No. 100 times no. This game is the product of viewing women not only as an acquirable commodity, but indeed a sort of challenge. A set of rules to follow with a reward at the end. You put the money in and the sex comes out. Like half the human fucking race is a sort of vending machine for rentable vaginas. Now our relationship XP can only increase when we're on dates, where before it would gradually tick up as I bothered her at the club. And that's fair, I suppose? That makes sense. So you have to step it up. You have to take it to the next level. You have to spend some time alone. Getting her to agree to go on dates is another matter entirely. While I can ask her any time I want, I have to pick a day of the week to take her out. If she's not free on that day, I am immediately kicked out of the club. Sometimes you can talk to her and she might reveal a day when she's free, but not often. Most of the time, I am fumbling in the dark, or, alternatively, hanging around the mall in the vain hope that I'll bump into her there and be presented with the option of spending $800 on a pair of shoes so she'll agree to go on a date with me. I'm starting to get angry, I suppose, with Saori. And that should be a point in the game's favour, coming at it from a postmodernist death of the author perspective. Is that degree paying off? Because it manages to skew the view of this woman into that of the sort of MRA dickhole who thinks that they are, at any point in their lives, owed sex. I bought you shoes, Saori. I spent $1,000 on those shoes. They are, and I am not exaggerating here, fucking amazing shoes. I learned all about you. I know your waist measurements. It doesn't say 54 what. It just is 54. I know your phone number off by heart. I did everything I was told to do. I took you on dates. And you stand around looking furious and upset, and I don't know what you want from me. Fucking women! How dare they? I don't understand them at all. Why do they make this so difficult? It's masterful. It locks you into a loop of drinking and work and endless, frantic, useless seduction, like getting with a girl is the only useful thing you can do with your life. It's all you've been programmed to do, and all your tools are malformed and broken, and every problem up until now has been solvable through the application of a series of logical steps. So surely, this is the right way to resolve this. It's toxic, and it cuts inadvertently close to the bone. Oh, no. Fittingly, I look up a strategy guide online. All positions unlocked, you can see there as well. Classy. We'll get to that in a bit, don't worry. Fittingly, I look up a strategy guide online. It turns out that when your girlfriend is upset / angry / embarrassed on dates, you're supposed to give her cosmetic items to counteract this. Is she nervous? Give her hair dye. Is she furious? Try slipping her some fake tan. Next day, I try it. As she looks ashamed at me as we stand in front of the bullet train, I wordlessly hand her a tube of lipstick. Thank you, she says. You're so considerate. The game informs me that her mood has returned to normal. Good stuff. Cracking. Perfect. An excellent portrayal of human interaction. Shame is a status effect, and women can counteract it by applying a mana potion. Put on your makeup, love. Brave face. Anyway. The dates continue. I max out my charm score. I literally cannot fit any more beer inside me. And then one day, when we're at the Love Hotel, which is a Japanese thing I'm not bothered enough to look up, but I think it's a sort of private couples hotel where you go to be intimate without waking up your neighbours, who, because this is Tokyo, presumably live 4 inches away from you in a tiny apartment hidden in the cupboard under your bed. And I'm laying on the charm thick and fast, and suddenly, bang, she's ready. She's ready to take our relationship to the next level. Up until this point, it's just been kissing. We have hired a hotel room specifically for kissing. I think I'm in love with him, the game tells me that she thinks to herself. And why? All I've done is answer a series of questions about your breast measurement and bought you enough shoes to outfit an army. And what kind of weird person are you, Sari, that these are your metrics for love? What is it you love about me? What have I possibly demonstrated that's worthy of love? I am putting money in until the sex comes out. There is a final exam, because of course there is. She sits on the bed, skirt off, and I answer questions about her, and then, finally, it's time. It has been 64 in-game days. We have seen each other every day for 2 months, not counting Sundays when the club is closed, so I just work an extra telemarketing shift to get more shoe money. And now, finally, the sex comes out. The sex is the best thing about this game. The sex is hilariously accurate. There are 2 positions. In one, you are penetrating her with your fingers, and in another, you are engaging in some good old-fashioned penis in vagina sex in a spooning position. You do not remove your sunglasses at any point during the act. Because you're just that cool. I should make this clear. Sari has never seen your eyes. The second option is the best for reasons that I will explain now. There is an orgasm meter on the side of the screen that fills when you push the up arrow key. It's not a rhythmic thing. When you push the button, you frantically thrust inside her. When you stop pressing the button, you stop. It's all accompanied by a badly animated leap of sex. So if you want to watch it for longer than 2 seconds, you have to sort of feather the up button and resort to a series of arrhythmic faltering jerks inside her. I figured that when it was filled up, went all the way into the red, that you were doing it wrong, maybe too hard, that she wasn't into that. But no, when it fills up, you turbo bang her for a few seconds, and then change position to missionary. When it fills up a second time, you pull out and come, and the game's over. Bam, credits. Thank you for playing, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave the theatre by the side door. And I'm like, is that it? I played a game for upwards of a bloody hour to get 6 seconds of sex. Not even a good 6 seconds. 6 seconds stretched out into half a minute of blind, mute pumping wearing sunglasses. But that's what sex is, isn't it? For men, when you're young and god-awful at it, something you're supposed to deal with, a challenge. The point of sex is orgasm. I remember being told that it was important to have sex as soon as humanly possible to get my first time out of the way. Here's a fun fact, I don't remember my first time. They say you do, but I don't. I remember eating a sandwich with my girlfriend in town the day after. I remember secretly holding hands with her in a family car when we thought no one could see. I remember taking photographs in the passport machine at the airport when I left to return home. The tears, the heart-wrenching pain of leaving. Not the sex. But shit, you gotta have sex, right? Not worth it otherwise. It is a perfect punchline to an awful game. The promise of something far greater than is delivered. Hours and hours spent obsessing over a girl, culminating in a disappointing handful of seconds, and then nothing, fade to black, the story is over. Not interested in what comes after. You've won. You remembered facts about her. You bought her things. You had the minimum required amount of sex. This is done. Look, I wasn't expecting Ganguro Girl to have gotten any better with age. It was shit when it came out 13 years ago, and it's still shit now. But I'd not realised how messed up it was when I'd played it, and I'm scared to think that it resonated with me enough to leave an impression. That some part of 15-year-old me thought that, while this is obviously an exaggeration, that this was how you interacted with the people you found attractive. That romance was like unlocking a door. The romance was more like unlocking a door than exploring some vast, foreign, fascinating country. There is some combination code to unlock people, rather than finding someone who resonates in harmony with you.